Welcome to MSP lecture series on the chemistry of main group elements. In my previous lecture, I gave introduction to hydrates of group 15 elements. So, let me continue from where I had stopped. Let me give the preparation of hydrates of group 15 elements. Of course, the important hydrate being ammonia. Ammonia is prepared by Haber's process, and ammonia finds a lot of applications. Ammonia is obtained by the action of water on the nitrates of lithium or magnesium, or by heating ammonium salts with base, or by reducing a nitrate or nitrite in alkaline solution with zinc or aluminum. Let me write down few of these reaction methods. So, by heating ammonium chloride, or by reducing nitrate or nitrate in alkaline solution, okay. So, reaction in liquid ammonia closely resemble those in aqueous solution. Okay. So, the other hydrates of group 15 elements are essentially, as I mentioned earlier, phosphine, arsine, stibine. So, ammonia is a water soluble weak base that can be seen from this reaction. So, for this one, if you consider pKb, that is about 4.75. If you consider these two reactions that I am going to write, that will show you the difference in the behavior of ammonia. So, Am is in ammonia. So, these two equations I have written here indicate the similarities between water and ammonia. Ammonium salts decompose readily on heating, and for many salts such as the halides, carbonates, sulfates, ammonia is evolved. Let me show a couple of examples. Ammonium chloride, it gives ammonia and HCl. Similarly, if you take ammonium sulfate, it gives H2SO4. So, ammonia is a colorless gas with a pungent odor. Oxidation products of ammonia depends on the conditions that are used. For example, ammonia, when it is react with oxygen, N2 is liberated. Okay. And when the reaction is performed using a catalyst of platinum or rhodium, NO is formed. So, both ammonium sulfate and nitrate are important fertilizers. So, they can be prepared using the following method, starting from calcium sulfate. Of course, NH3 combines with HNO3 to form NH4NO3. So, ammonium sulfate and the ammonium hydrogen phosphate are also used as fertilizers, because phosphate is essentially a plant nutrient. Ammonium perchlorate is used as the oxidizing agent in solid fuel rocket propellants. Trihydrates of heavier elements are best made by treating lithium aluminum hydride with their corresponding metal trichlorides. For example, a general equation involving the preparation of these trihydrates is ECl3 lithium aluminum hydride in ether, preferably in ethers. So, here E is essentially phosphorus, arsenic, antimony or bismuth. Okay. And also in case of phosphine, calcium phosphide can also be hydrolyzed. For example, CH3P2 plus 6 H2O gives 2PH3 and 3CaOH twice. Okay. Or one can take similar to phosphonium ion and treat that one with an alkali. For example, PH4I on treatment with KOH gives pH 3 H2O. And of course, phosphine is an extremely toxic colorless gas which is much less soluble in water than is NH3. And unlike liquid ammonia, liquid phosphine, arsine and stibine do not associate through hydrogen bonding. They are much more stable. Alkyl and aryl analogues are useful soft ligands. For example, phosphine, if you replace one hydrogen with an alkyl or aryl group, it is called primary phosphine. If you replace two hydrogen atoms, we get R2PH, that is called secondary phosphine, and if you replace all hydrogen atoms, we get R3P, they are called tertiary phosphines, and tertiary phosphines are extensively used in coordination chemistry and organometallic chemistry to stabilize transition metals in a variety of oxidation states. And besides their application as soft ligands, both phosphine and arsine are used in the semiconductor industry to dope silicon or to prepare other semiconductor compounds such as gallium arsenide. The commercial synthesis of pH3 uses the disproportionation of white phosphorus in basic solution. P4S, basic solution I had mentioned. Okay, so this is the commercial method of preparation of phosphine, and treatment of white phosphorus with water can also lead to the formation of phosphine. To have ultra pure pH3, one has to go for thermal disproportionation of phosphorus acid. For example, H3PO3 gives pH3 plus 3 H3PO4. So, this is the method preferred for preparation of ultra pure phosphine, and of course, aqueous solution of pH3 is neutral, but in liquid ammonia pH3 acts as an acid. For example, K plus pH3 in liquid ammonia gives K plus pH2 minus pH2. And of course, arsine and stibane may be prepared by the proteolysis of compounds that contain an electropositive metal in combination with arsenic or antimony. So, here is arsenic or antimony. As I said, much more stable organic derivatives such as tertiary phosphines and tertiary arsines can be conveniently prepared by treating phosphine with the corresponding metal reagents, or one can take phosphine and convert that into sodium salts, and that can be used with appropriate aryl or alkyl halides. So, let us look into the thermal stability of hydrides. You can see here for NH3 delta H is minus 46.2 kilojoules, and here if you look into N to H bond energy, that is plus 391 kilojoules per mole, and as we go down the group the bond energy decreases. That is also resulted in these values. In fact, SpH3 has a positive 142.8, and here the bond energy is 255 kilojoules per mole. So, that indicates essentially heavier group 15 hydrides are unstable, and here is essentially because of the orbital mismatch. The sp3 or p3 orbitals involved from heavier elements essentially overlapping with 1s1, very small one. So, in this case what happens, because of orbital mismatch the bonds are not very strong, and that can be seen from these thermodynamic entities given here. Okay. So, let us have a simple question. All the group 15 hydrides are pyramidal, but the bond angles decreases down the group. Okay. For example, you can see here NH3 has 107.8 and whereas PH3 is 93.6, arsine it is 91.8, in case of antimony hydride it is 91.3. That means apart from ammonia, in the rest of the phosphines the angles are very close to 90 degree. One can explain this one, essentially one can explain by looking into the electronegativity of nitrogen and hydrogen. For example, in case of here the difference in the angles can be explained by two methods. One is simply looking into the electronegativity difference between N and H, P and H, arsenic and hydride, and antimony and hydride. Of course, electronegativity is steadily decreasing, and in case of N it is nitrogen having a negative charge. As a result, what happens, the NH electrons are essentially staying very close to N and increasing that angle here. And in case of phosphine, phosphorus is little less electronegative compared to hydrogen. As a result, more electron density will be residing on hydrogen, and same thing is true in case of arsenic as well as antimony trihydrides. And one can also explain by simply looking into the p character in this bond formation. It appears like when we look into 3 p orbitals, px, py, pz, they are essentially orthogonal to each other. If they are not associated with S prior to the hybridization, then we will be having pure P3 hybridization. In that case, the bonds are essentially whatever the relationship is there between Px, Py, Pz with an angle of 90 is retained. That could be seen here. So, that clearly indicates in PH3, ESH3 and SpH3, if it is undergone sp3 hybridization, the P character is maximum and S character is very minimum. So, that can also, one can also evoke Bend's rule also to explain these things. And of course, in case of arsenic and antimony, the lone pair has maximum S character, and or it may be simply S electrons are not touched and only the 3p orbitals are undergoing hybridization to form 3p hybrid orbitals, and they combine with 3 hydrogen atoms to form. So, we can explain by several ways. Of course, I have given lot of information about these things when I was discussing valence bond theory and bringing hybridization concept. You can go back to the structure and bonding concept and you can look into it. Hydrogen is N2H4. It is essentially a fuming colorless liquid with an odor like that of ammonia, and hydrogen is a weaker base than ammonia and forms 2 series of salts. It has a liquid range similar to that of water, around 2 to 114 degrees centigrade, indicating the presence of hydrogen bonding. In the liquid phase, hydrogen adopts a gauge conformation around NN bond. So, that means one can write the structure in this fashion. So, here if you look into the angle, this is 108 and the distance between NN is 145 picometer. Okay. So, this is N2H4, okay. And essentially it has this kind of gauge structures to minimize the lone pair interactions. You can see here I have shown 2 different type of structure for hydrogen here. And of course, similar to N2H4, arsenic and antimony compounds are also known having E2H4 composition, and hydrazine is manufactured by the Raschig process. So, in which ammonia and sodium hypochlorite react in dilute aqueous solution. For example, NH3, NaOCl react to give NH2Cl. This NH2Cl undergoes dimerization in this fashion in presence of ammonia. So, here NH2Cl reacts further with ammonia to form N2H4 through the formation of ammonium chloride. Of course, here we are using 2 equivalents of ammonia to extract one HCl in the form of ammonium chloride. Okay. So, there is a competing side reaction that is essentially catalyzed by d metal ions. For example, if NH2Cl is treated with N2H4, it forms N2 gas. And in these cases, gelatin is added to the reaction mixture to trap the d metal ion by forming a complex with them. You can see here I have shown more structures of N2H4 here. This is how the gauge structure looks like. and you can see here the N to H bond distance is 102 picometer and NN distance is 145 picometer, and this is the staggered structure of N2H4. So, diphosphan I had mentioned P2H4 is a colorless liquid, melting point is 174 Kelvin. So, melting point is 174 Kelvin and boiling point is 329 Kelvin. Okay. So, and is highly toxic and spontaneously inflammable. And the gauge conformation is also adopted by P2H4 in the gas phase. In the solid state, P2H4 has a staggered conformation. The eclipsed conformation is not observed because which would maximize the lone pair repulsion. As a result, these compounds have gauge or staggered conformation. Diphosphan is found as a minor product in several reactions in which PH3 is prepared. It can be separated from PH3 by condensation in a freezing mixture, and it do not exhibit basic properties. Okay. And hydroxylamine is a colorless hygroscopic solid with a low melting point of 32 degrees centigrade. Okay. And there are several routes to synthesize hydroxylamine, that is NH2OH, which is usually handled as a salt, sulfate, preferably in aqueous solution. So, NO on treatment with hydrogen gas in presence of sulfuric acid of course, here platinized charcoal used as a catalyst. Is used as a catalyst to form sulfate salt. Okay. So, anhydrous hydroxylamine can be prepared by adding sodium butoxide to a solution of hydroxylamine hydrochloride. For example, NH3 OH Cl, when it is treated with sodium butoxide, it forms NH2OH plus NaCl plus butanol. Okay. Okay, so let me stop here and continue more discussion on nitrogen hydrides or ammonia and hydrazine and other related compounds in my next lecture. Until then, have a pleasant reading of Group 15 Chemistry. Thank you very much.